I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think this is going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Good morning and happy Super Bowl Sunday to you all. I just found out that Toast might not be joining us, so let me just reset up. Give me a second to reset up for 3 people here. Apparently, Toast just texted it. Prop Beaver and was like, you guys have the show set up for me? Oh, yeah, like every other football Sunday this year. All right, so we got Prop Beaver on. Prop Beaver, are you divulging your new Twitter to people or no?
No, I am. Yeah, I'm divulging my new Twitter to people. It's just if you want to follow Twitter that hasn't tweeted yet, you can choose to do so. On the prowl, kind of like on the rock. And you gotta sleep for a while before you really go out on the hunt. I'm still sleeping. I don't really know what I want to do yet. But I'm going to keep racking up the units in the Discord until I do tweet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, let me switch it over to 3 people. It just takes good 1 second.
JABO, you're right. Very positive environment. And I got to say, the spaces that I'm seeing is making it even more positive, healthy environment. So I have no clue why I'd be trepidatious to go.
1 second. Oh, shit.
For your health, everything.
Yeah.
Let me just reset. Sorry, guys. I just got to reset it up for. I just found out last minute Toast wasn't coming, so let me just reset it.
My mental health is better than ever. No correlation. Not having the Twitter. No. But you know, if there is no Toast today, I must say I have a breakdown that's gonna make him absurdly proud today. So don't.
Oh my God! I know the bet you're talking. I know the exact bet you're talking about.
Yeah.
And let me get me over here, and then we're ready.
Is it a real prop or a Super Bowl game prop?
No, he's
it's a Super Bowl game prop.
He's got his thumb to the pulse of the kicker market.
I'm gonna make my kicking fellas proud.
I wonder if it's the one I got.
I think we'll probably be on the same one. I think it's a really good bet. So I think you're a fellow Sharpsmith. So
fellow Sharpsmith.
All right. So, good morning. We're ready now. The screen's ready. I also have the NBA games queued up. There's actually 2 NBA bets I like. Like, I actually like them. I
have 2 bets too.
I got.
There he is. Oh my God.
Hey.
Did Toast show up?
He did just show up.
Toast, are you coming? Do you want to come on or not? Now Toast wants to come on, so 1 second.
I was a bit confused by your wording, Toast. You didn't exactly say whether you're prepared to come on. Okay. I'm also not producing the show today, so that's, it's okay. I was ready to defend your honor in the kicking market, whether you're here or not. So
Beaver is a kicking prop.
I not only do I have a kicking prop, I have like a full-blown breakdown.
All right. So, our pre-show poll, who ingests more narcotics daily, Weskers or TWD? 53% of you said Weskers. I'm surprised by that vote because TWD has a screw loose.
Yeah, I would have voted TWD for sure.
Weskers is nuts, but Weskers has never talked to himself as a father and son duo.
That is. Did you see Weskers this morning? He said that there is a portrait of me by his house, and climate change protesters defaced it, and he was upset about that. All right, let's talk about this.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said this morning. He said he was upset about that a portion of me was defaced. All right, so we got Chiefs, Eagles in the Super Bowl. So these guys got a lot of. I think Steve has like 4 props. Prop Beaver's got 2 or 3. So I think maybe we should bounce around. Steve, you want to just give one of yours, then we'll go to Prop Beaver. We'll just kind of pass the ball around.
Great idea. No one wants to hear me talk 4 bets in a row. I'll get the Prop Beaver treatment in the chat. All right, yeah, let's talk game bet first. Then I got the Eagles team total over 23.5 in this one. I like it a lot. First of all, it's played indoors. I think we're going to see quite a bit of points. I know some people are on the under. I think we see points in this one, but obviously we got the best run game with Saquon, 118 plus and 5 straight. It's going to be an interesting matchup against that Chiefs defense. But the Chiefs run defense just hasn't impressed me much lately. Last 3 games, 85 on 18 to James Cook, 88 yards on 18 to Joe Mixon, 145 to that combo in Pittsburgh. I don't know if they can, slow him. They might be able to slow him down, but slowing down Saquon, he can still have a good game. But here's why I like it. The only way to slow him down is you're going to have to load the box. You're going to have to do something different. That's going to leave a lot of one-on-one opportunities with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, plus Kansas City. Worst defense versus tight end. So you obviously got Goddard as well. Spagnuolo likes to play a lot of man-to-man, likes to blitz a lot. Hurts has been good against pressure. So I think they're going to be able to get some big plays, not only in the run game, but in the pass game as well. The Eagles have only had 6 games with all 3 pass catchers playing. That's A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. They've gone over this line 5 of 7, averaging 31.29 points per game. This offense can beat you in multiple ways. So I just think the Eagles facing a run defense, honestly, maybe earlier in the year I'd be worried about a little bit. But I think they get some big plays in the run or the pass here. So I don't think 24 points is a lot indoors. So I like the Eagles team total over.
I like that too, and I agree with a lot of what you said. I didn't physically bet that. To be honest, I actually don't have an open bet on the Super Bowl yet. I'm going to be placing them today. It's not, as assume many of you know, it's not the most valuable game to bet. We're kind of just gambling at this point. It's 2 of the best teams in the league. Obviously, it's going to be a line that's taken more action than any other line, probably in any other sport all year. So it's the idea that you're going to find a ton of value on this game is kind of fantasy land. But I do like that Philadelphia team total over. Prop Beaver.
Yeah, don't worry, buddy. Here's a bet to add to your slip, okay? Here's some real value. Okay. So first of all, we've got the longest field goal made in this match, under 47.5 yards, getting that at -115. We got Underdog offering Butker's longest field goal made line of 45.5. Elliott's at 43.5. So we're already getting a little bit of perceived value here at the higher line of 47.5. The real reason I like this one, though, is that neither guy is in the best of shape to kick from long distance. Elliott, extremely respectable and dependable long distance kicker in the past. This year, he stinks. He's 1 of 7 from 50-plus yards this season after faring 15 of 17 the previous 3 seasons. He has 3 field goals this season of 28 made that qualify of 48 yards or more. That's merely 10% of his field goals. And the fact that we got Sirianni, hyper-aggressive madman facing Patrick Mahomes, one of the most dangerous scoring threats of our time, and the fact that the Chiefs special teams unit has blocked several field goal attempts this year, and Elliott should have a lot of trouble clearing that mark. The trickier character in this equation, in my mind, should be Harrison Butker, Mr. Get Back in the Kitchen. Now, Butker, like Elliott, is normally lights out from deep as his previous 4 seasons, 19 and 25 on 50-plus yard attempts. But this season, like Elliott, he's struggling. 2 of 5. Just 2 of his 21 field goals made on the season were from 48 or more yards, 9.5%. And if we look at Butker specifically since coming back from injury, they're really not testing him much. I mean, through 6 games, just 9 field goal attempts. He's only synced 7 of them. And the lone attempt he tried from 50-plus yards, he missed. In fact, he hasn't made an attempt of 45-plus yards since returning from the injury. The longest field goal made in 5 of those 6 contests were 36 yards or less. So at -115, I like this one enough to put a full unit on it.
Longest field goal made under 47. And I mean, Elliott has been struggling with the long field goals. Also, Jalen Hurts is the king of taking a sack and out of field goal range. I feel like I've seen him do that a dozen times this year. So, I mean, I'll put up the under. It again, I don't really feel very strongly.
I like it. I like it, Prop Beaver, because they're going to, I mean, 4th and 4 and less, and they're going for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's my thought process, too. My main concern, I guess, is Andy Reid, I guess. He's a bit conservative, I feel, in these spots. And on top of that, it isn't a dome, so that's a bit more friendly towards the kickers. But, I do like this stuff.
But you got your finger on the kicking market, though. So you're
trying. I'm just trying to do my best to make
He's
Toast
He's probably gonna have opportunities to kick because over 1.5 field goals is like minus 190. So the chances are he's gonna get a few opportunities. It just depends on how far out they are. I think that's the only question you have to worry about. But if he's not making them, he's not making them. So.
So I'll put up the under. I'm going to bet the under here, although I do think the Eagles will score. My score prediction in 26-19 Eagles. How about that?
Really?
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like that's a good prediction. Is that bad?
No,
I like it. I like it.
Don't ask me. I was
just thinking Mahomes in the Super Bowl, 19 points.
Me too.
But you know, this defense is good, so I get
Well, how many did he have in regulation against the 49ers last year?
Let me check.
Good question. What was it against the Eagles 2 Super Bowls ago? Like 38, 35?
Yeah, that was a high-scoring one.
Yeah.
What was it last
What
year?
was it last year, though?
I'm looking at it now.
Chiefs.
25-22 in overtime.
Okay.
So that means, and they scored 6. So they had 19 in regulation against the 49ers last year.
All right, Kyle. Very smart.
And I think this Eagles defense is elite. So it's not just that the Eagles defense is probably the best in the NFL, and I think most people would agree that the Eagles defense, especially the second half of the year, was the best in the NFL. But specifically, this is kind of a tough matchup for the Chiefs at what the Eagles defense excels at doing. So the way to beat this Eagles defense is you stay diligent to the run game, hand it off, because they're a great run defense, but they're an elite pass defense. They're great at taking away the short throws. They're actually the best defense in the NFL at taking away the short underneath throws. Tell me that's not a bad matchup for Patrick Mahomes. That's what he does. He takes those underneath throws. He keeps moving the chains. He stays on the field. So to beat this Eagles defense, you run the ball and you take shots deep. Not that they're bad against deep throws at all, but they're a little more susceptible to downfield throws than they are to short passes. Regardless, just not the way to beat this Eagles defense is not what the Chiefs do. Not that Patrick Mahomes isn't capable of it and Andy Reid aren't capable of drawing up a game plan to beat that. I'm just saying, as a whole, for what the Chiefs do offensively, the Eagles defense is a tough matchup. I don't really trust the Chiefs run game much. Now, historically, the Chiefs can struggle to run and then show up in the Super Bowl or a huge game and just figure out how to run the ball. We've seen that before. So I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to say Kansas City's able to run the ball a little bit in this game. But when the Eagles have the ball, I'm expecting long, sustained drives, running the ball a lot. I think it's a good matchup for Jalen Hurts as well. I think Spagnuolo will be able to keep the Eagles out of the end zone, make them settle for some threes. So long drives that end in field goals, your under's best friend. I'm going to bet the under in this one. I haven't bet it yet, but I'll bet it. At the end, I'm going to place a couple bets and do a same-game parlay and shit. We'll do that at the end of the stream. Toast, did you want to deal one out?
Yeah, I'd love to deal one out. Harrison Butker over 7.5 kicking points, minus 135. It's just one of those situations where, like I just talked about, you have a number at 1.5 field goals at minus 190. I expect Patrick Mahomes and company to score some points. Yes, the Eagles defense is very good. I also play the Chiefs as well. But Harrison Butker has been a moneymaker for me, and I trust him in the Super Bowl. And if that Eagles defense is that good, like you're talking about, then I would assume that Patrick Mahomes and stuff are going to have to settle for field goals as well. So over 7.5 kicking points at minus 135 for Butker.
All I have to say is
7.5. That's automatic, right? 7.5.
No, 8.5 is automatic.
8.5. My bad.
He's breaking his own rule here.
That's not breaking a rule. That's actually a rule that I love, is that this number at minus 135. This number is minus 110. I probably don't even look at it. 135 got me intrigued.
It's like the tackles and assists. I get what you're saying, Toasty.
I know, they just get me in there.
Yeah.
Steve, want to give us another one?
I'm just trying to figure out how you got two guys who love tackles and assists and kicking props, and you're a guy who just loves the spreads and totals.
I don't know where I found these clowns.
The internet, dude, it's just crazy place out there.
Yeah, I'll give another one. Isaiah Pacheco under 31.5 rush plus receiving. This is a little dangerous one. It's Kareem Hunt's backfield, obviously. Last 5 games, he's under this in 4 of the last 5. Under in 4 straight, no more than 25 yards in any of those 4. His volume is, if you watch the Chiefs, you know, it's just absolutely plummeted. 9, 6, 5, and 5 rush attempts the last 4 games. His rush attempts line today, 5.5. It's insanely low. percentage of the rush share, 23% and 14% in the last 2 playoff games. No more than two targets, 1 or less reception for the last 5. He's only averaging 2.9 yards per attempt. That's why he's not getting much. He's not as explosive. He hasn't been the same guy since his return from injury. Eagles top 10 versus running backs when it comes to rush yards allowed, receiving yards allowed. Pacheco's snap count was only 16 and 19 in the last 2 playoff games. It has not been pretty. Is Andy Reid going to screw me and say, you know what, we're going to unleash Pacheco? Maybe. If he does, I don't know what else to say. But Kareem Hunt, obviously his backfield, and even pass catching downs, P. Ryan's the guy. Most of the time, it's not going to be Pacheco. Maybe he gets 1 catch. So if we're talking 5 carries at, probably 2.5 yards per carry and maybe 1 catch, I like this number. I like Pacheco under 31.5 rush and receiving.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, like you said, Kareem Hunt's backfield, so that bet makes sense. Prop Beaver, I know. Should I put up all? You have 3 bets from one guy. Should I put them all up?
Yeah, you might as well just put them all up. So I'm big on Devonta Smith in this ball game. I took Devonta Smith over 4.5 receptions, and then I very lightly sprinkled on him to lead the game in receptions and targets. Receptions, I think I got plus 700 on DK, and then targets I got plus 600 on ESPN. I hear a lot of talk this week about how the Chiefs can't defend outside the numbers, and definitely true on a season-long basis, and about how they can't defend tight end position. Also, definitely true on a season-long basis. As a result, A.J. Brown, Goddard overs. They've been flooding my timeline to plenty. I get it. But if you look at the Chiefs' pass defense outside the numbers when Jalen Watson is on the field, they've been quite excellent. And I'm a man who greatly respects Trent McDuffie. I think he's a bowler. I think he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, maybe the best cornerback in the league. And I've seen him clamp some very high-level wide receiver ones. And meanwhile, the Chiefs' defense, they know that their glaring weakness is defending tight ends. And Goddard has been red hot. I can see them bracketing him a bit to keep him in check. Want to know who finds himself in a really nice spot as a result? Devonta Smith, who's been under this number in all 3 playoff games thus far, but I feel like is finally ready to explode on the biggest stage in the mall. To me, the biggest weakness of his Chiefs secondary right now lies with Chamari Connor, the nickel back, a guy who's built more as a run stopper than a true traditional nickel corner. With the blitz coming, I think that Hurts is going to have to rely on getting these quick hits out to Smith tonight to keep the sticks moving, and that's been the case for slot guys against KC all season. If you look at slot targets against KC, they've allowed the 2nd most targets per game, by far the most receptions per game, and the 2nd highest rate of first downs per route run to slot targets. This is the KC defense, mind you. He's now faced the Chiefs 3 times in his career. In these games, he's averaging 7 receptions per game on 9 targets per game, with one of those being in the Super Bowl. And we've seen this Eagles team come out and run the living Christ out of the bowl every single playoff game thus far, and Smith has been 1 reception away from cashing in all 3 of these games. I think in the best possible matchup here with a potential losing game script for the first time in a very long time, I love the value here at the plus money.
Devonta Smith over 4.5 receptions. Devonta Smith, most receptions in the game at plus 700. Devonta Smith, most targets in the game at plus 600. And I mean, I don't know specifically the matchup for Devonta Smith. You just talked about it. But I do like how, hold on, let me get, I'm out of pick graphics here. I have to make some extras. We never had this many picks on the screen at the same time before. So I'm putting the Eagles up. Look, by no means am I saying, hey, you should bet the Eagles. This is a good bet. This is a valuable investment here. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just letting you know I'm going to bet the Eagles, pretty much betting on what I want to happen instead of what I think will happen. I don't think there's much value at this line. I do think the Eagles should be laying. I think they're the better team overall, but it's the biggest game of the year, and the 3 areas where the Chiefs are better: quarterback, offensive coaching staff, defensive coaching staff, which you can argue are the 3 most important areas in the biggest game of the year. But I mean, every other aspect of the football team, I'll take the Eagles offensive line, the defensive front, the secondary, the running back, the receiver. I'll take the Eagles everything except for quarterback, coaching staff. So yeah, I would say I'd probably make this game Philadelphia minus 1.5 instead of plus 1.5. But again, it's not that I'm saying this is a super valuable bet. It's actually a decent matchup for Jalen Hurts. I know when we think of this year's Eagles team, we don't think of Jalen Hurts. We think of Saquon Barkley and the defense, rightfully so. But actually, this particular matchup, should be all right for him. He should have plenty of opportunities to make throws. Whether he makes those throws, we'll have to wait and see. Number one, we're talking about Steve Spagnuolo, so we know the blitzes are coming. Jalen Hurts, actually top 10, maybe even a top 5 quarterback against the blitz this year. Now, something Jalen Hurts does is hold on to the football for a while. That's been a problem of his all year. If you've watched any recent Eagles games, if you bet the Eagles, you've probably spent several plays sitting there screaming at your TV, get rid of the ball, because it's frustrating when you bet on the Eagles and he just holds on to the football and takes sacks. He does. He has a high pressure to sack rate, and I'm sure the Chiefs blitz packages will be able to get home at least a time or two in this game. But on the plays where the Spagnuolo's blitz packages don't get there, and there will be plays like that, because remember, this Eagles offensive line is stacked. So on the plays where the Chiefs blitz packages don't get there, Hurts is going to have opportunities to make throws. He's, like I said, he might be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL when blitzed. So if the blitz doesn't get there, Jalen Hurts should have opportunities to make throws. Also, Jalen Hurts throws the ball to the sideline a lot. 52.6%, I believe, of his pass attempts go outside the numbers. Throws the ball to the sideline a lot. Second most in the NFL. Chiefs happen to be the worst defense in the league, allowing passes outside the numbers, allowing passes to the sidelines, allowing a passer rating over 120. So, not that the Chiefs defense is bad in many respects, but when it comes to defending the sidelines, they actually have struggled this year. Opponent quarterback rating over 120. It's not good. So another positive matchup for Hurts. And it keeps going. Honestly, remember, we just saw this Super Bowl matchup 2 years ago. Hurts threw for over 300 yards. Jalen Hurts played well. He also had 70 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. So we just saw this matchup 2 years ago. Hurts didn't have problems throwing the ball in this Chiefs defense. In fact, what was the Eagles' problem in that game? Remember, they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. What was the Eagles' problem? They got 0 production from the running back position. There are 3. Who were their 3 running backs that year? Probably
Boston Scott,
Miles
Kenneth
Sanders,
Gainwell, and Miles Sanders.
Yeah, those 3 guys. That's who was taking carries for the Eagles 2 years ago. Those 3 guys combined for like 2.6 yards per carry or something. Like, they didn't do anything against this Chiefs defense. Do you think the Chiefs are about to hold Saquon Barkley to 2.6 yards per carry? Because if they got production from their RBs 2 years ago, the Eagles probably win that Super Bowl. And in my opinion, this year's Eagles defense is better than that team's defense was. Maybe Jalen Hurts hasn't been playing as well this year, but every other aspect of this Eagles team is better than that Eagles team from 2 years ago, including a superstar MVP candidate running back. So I think this Eagles team is absolutely loaded. Could we see some hero shit from Mahomes? Sure. Absolutely. But I think I'm getting points with the better overall team here. So I did bet the Eagles. But again, just doing some gambling here. I don't see much value on the line. If this was a Sunday game, I would be passing at this number because I would have it Philly -1, -1.5. Not a ton of value there. Toast, anything else? Oh, you're on the Chiefs, you said? But I mean, you don't have to explain.
I was going to say, yeah, I don't have to explain. You're going to continue to get, for the 3rd year in a row, we're getting the Chiefs at a cheap price. Thank you very much. You can also add on Patrick Mahomes touchdown, anytime touchdown at +400. I did bet that today here in Tennessee. A couple people I respect have him over 5.5 rushing attempts. So if he's going to be running around a little bit, and that Eagles defense, like you say, is so good that maybe he gets a free shot into the end zone. So at +400, I thought it was worth a little bit of a sprinkle.
A little bit of a sprinkle, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
We don't have to make a graphic.
Also, for what it's worth, Mahomes is 8-0 against Vic Fangio. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. I know I have 2 more graphics in here, so we still have bets to go. Let me put.
All right. You want me to go?
Yeah, go.
They're
ahead.
not mine.
All right. Well, mine's square. Probably we already talked about it. So Dallas Goedert, 50+ receiving yards. I think this line opened at 45. No, that's right. You already made fun of it. It's all over the timeline. It's just so square. Whatever. I'm going to talk about why it's square. This guy is a stud. This guy is the most targeted pass catcher on the Eagles in the playoffs this year. Over in 3 of the last 4 games. Last week had 7 receptions, 8 targets, 85 yards. Last 5 games, 5.6 targets per game, 4.4 receptions. We know he's a big part of it, and he's a big yards after catch guy. Catches a lot of balls on the move, and he has averaging 34.2 yards after catch in the last 5 games. He could be a nice outlet. You know, his ADOT is small, but like I said, some of these crossing routes and different routes he runs, he gets a lot of yards after catch. So if he is getting blitzed, Jalen Hurts, he could hit him quite a bit. And of course, I mean, like Prop Beaver mentioned, it's the best matchup on planet Earth for tight ends. They've given up the most yards. Goddard also leads all tight ends in yards per route run versus man coverage. We know the Chiefs like to run man coverage as well. Tight ends versus KC, 10 of the last 13 have 40 or more yards. Against them, 4 of the last 6 have 50-plus yards. And the 2 unders in the last 6 weeks were Dalton Schultz with 45 and Jordan Akins with 30. We saw even Stone Smart go over. Jatavian Sanders at 49. I mean, the game plan for Kansas City, you would think going into this is slow down Saquon. After that, maybe slow down Saquon again, and then watch for A.J. Brown on those one-on-ones. Try not to get beat deep, all that. I think Dallas Goedert's going to have a lot of room. Like I said, he's the most targeted Philly pass catcher right now. So I just love it. With Casey struggling, I looked at it, and as I'm making the bet, as I'm writing it up, I said, this is so square. I mean, this is just, it's like all the numbers line up. And does it always work out that way where it's like, oh, that's perfect, that's easy? No, but I really like Goddard. I like his volume lately and everything. So I'm going to go Dallas.
Prop Beaver, I have one more bet here for you.
Oh, is it the double result?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
There's a graphic for it.
Yeah, no, okay. So basically my thought process for this double result is like elementary school. So the Chiefs continue to lose the first half of these fucking Super Bowl games. They're 0-3-1 in the first half. They continue to win the Super Bowls, the 3-1 at the end of them. So why not just take their stupid opponent to win the first half, them to lose, for the opponent to win the first half, for them to win the full game, and get that shit at plus 600. That's what I did. So I took the Eagles to win the first half, the Chiefs to win the full game, plus 600. I hate it. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I despise them. But I think that's a little trend we got going here. Why not ride with history repeating itself here? That's how I look at it. I put a quarter unit on it. I mean, fuck it.
Quarter unit. Oh, okay.
Big baller.
Okay.
That's one of the first bets I thought of in this game because last 2 Super Bowls, the Chiefs have been down by double digits in both games.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see it happening right again here. And I feel like a lot of the things I keep hearing this week are the Eagles are just going to come out with this ultra aggressive game plan early, try and get this early lead. All right, well, same thing happens, and plus 600 sounds like a fantastic number.
All right, so I'm about to place a same game parlay, but while I'm doing it, I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to place, and I'll put it on the screen when I do. But while I'm doing that, Prop Beaver's going to read off his Underdog. Did you send it to me?
Yes, I did send it to you.
Oh, shit. We have.
I do have one more bet, by the way. I don't know if we're finishing it.
Wait. You do?
Yeah, he does.
It's a really big one. I mean, this is yeah.
Oh, what's
It's
up?
a pretty big deal, dude.
Yeah.
Don't hold down on us.
Is it plus 1,000 or better?
No. I mean, it's plus 106, but I mean, it's an interesting bet. Are you ready for me to give it, or are you going to cut me off?
Are you going to scum him out?
Oh, it's the Dotson bet.
Yeah.
I have a graphic here. Go ahead.
Thanks for killing it.
Yep. Jahan Dotson under a half a reception. Now, this is going to be a great one to root for because it's never over until the freaking buzzer goes off. But guys, I will say this: in my dream last night, Jahan Dotson got a touchdown pass. So I just want to forewarn everyone.
This is Beaver shit right there.
This is tough. I didn't wake up very happy today. But if you don't know about him, he's the number 3 wide receiver, number 4 pass catcher on this team. He has 1 reception in the 3 playoff games, 0 catches the last 2 weeks. In the last 6 weeks, not counting week 18, he has 1 reception on 3 total targets. Saquon, we know is going to get we know all about it. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon. There's not going to be much left for him. Maybe he gets 1 target. He just has not been involved at all. And to get plus money for him to not make have a catch when he hasn't had one like ever lately. And again, if you look at week 18, don't count it because it was all backup. So I like Dotson under a half a reception. If you are more of a better on your dreams, I'd go anytime touchdown, probably a good long shot.
I strongly considered that play. And considering how pissed I've been in the NFL this season, the fact that I didn't bet it, great news for you, my friend.
Awesome. Good to hear.
All right,
I'm tailing that.
I'm bringing up your. So
which one, the touchdown?
No, definitely the under, because when you said you woke up this morning pissed off, that's a sign of a good bet. That's a sign of a good bet. So,
Good to know.
All right, Prop Beaver, you have the floor. I'm placing my SGP while you read this.
Yeah, so Underdog is going to be Devonta Smith, higher than 4.5 receptions. We already discussed that. And then Patty Mahomes, lower than 35.5 longest completion. I feel like that line's a bit high. And then on top of that, I mean, he's the dink and dunk merchant himself. We got the Eagles, an absurdly good defense at defending the deep ball. I think he's going to struggle to get a long completion here. So I think those are the best two you could put together in this ball game here. And then our friends at Underdog, I can't see your screen, Kyle, so I can't see exactly what thing you're putting up right now. But hold on. Okay.
It is cash in on the big entry or cash in on the big game entry or get bonus credit back. So if you sign up right now for Underdog and use the promo code BET, you get to use this promo.
Okay, actually, let me explain that then. So basically, on Underdog, this Sunday for the Super Bowl, you can use you get to create a no sweat entry. Basically, you either cash out on your entry or your entry's losses will be credited back to you in terms of bonus credits. So it's no sweat. You either win or you get your bonus credits back. And then new customers obviously could sign up. They get a deposit match up to $1,000 in one of those lovely yellow states. So that's what it is. The no sweat thing is separate from the usual promotions.
All right, I just placed the same game parlay. I am putting it on the screen so everyone can see it right now.
Someone just said I was a sports fan with a camera. I'm not even sure how I take that.
Compliment? You're a sports fan with a camera.
Sure.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know if it's an insult or a compliment.
With a camera.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Hold on, let me email it to myself real quick.
That one's going to have me thinking for 10 minutes after the show.
So now he's a philosophizer. All right. Sent. Let's get this up on the screen. Now this is something I don't use the word lock often, but I think this is a pretty safe. This is a pretty safe bet.
Same game parlays.
This is pretty safe here. So the bet I placed is Eagles minus 5.5 alt spread. So Eagles minus 5.5 alt spread. I got Mahomes 50 plus rushing yards. Devonta Smith 70 plus receiving yards. It's a plus 4.439. Like I said, this probably can't miss. In case you're new to betting, that's sarcasm. That almost definitely will miss. So just wanted to make sure, like, disclaimer. I don't want anyone to place that. But this guy on YouTube told me that he can't miss.
Here's another disclaimer if you're new. If you see a plus 4.439, that's probably a sign that the bet's not going to hit.
Yes.
By the way, our poll is 46% Kansas City, 39% Philadelphia. 700 people voted in it. It's a lot of votes. So, yeah. Anything else we want to talk about? Steve, you want to tell them where they... we got basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got some basketball. And real quick, I do like Kareem Hunt and Goddard as touchdown props. I didn't want to send those to you because, I sent you 4 in one game. That's already obnoxious. And by the way, most of these bets are half unit. If you're betting 4, 5, 6 bets in one game, you shouldn't probably be putting like full units on it and have 6 units on one game. Just a heads up.
People didn't like my SGP in the comments, by the way.
Shocker.
So I'm clearing the board. Just 3 NBA games, and it'll be quick as hell. We're not doing deep dive NBA right now. I do have 2 bets I like.
I have a really quickly, just in case I get cut off. Villanova loses tonight, guys. Xavier plus 2.5.
I like Villanova.
No, we didn't ask you. This team sucks. I promise you, Villanova sucks. They got lucky.
Xavier's like 1-7 on the road, dude.
We're losing tonight.
I told Trev this morning that's a bad bet. He's on Xavier too. Villanova is the play tonight. All right, we're gonna do NBA. Toast. Talk to you later.
See you later.
Oh, look. Let me get Steve back on here. Oh, also I got to get myself back on the screen. This will be quick, like I said. There's only 3 games. All right. First game up. Hornets on the road at Detroit. Very simple for me. I took the Hornets at plus 10.5. This number is super inflated. If LaMelo Ball is playing, the Hornets can score. Pistons have been playing some better defense as of late, but 10.5, we're getting a little out of control here. Now I would like someone's questionable on the Hornets, and I can't remember who it is that I want. Nick. Holy shit.
Talk about Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah, I'd like him out there because they're pretty thin, but I'm good on Hornets plus 10.
Okay, interesting.
Good.
I mean, I guess they are so thin that Nick Smith Jr. actually does.
That's
matter
what I'm saying.
They're
Really thin.
Normally, I would laugh at you, but that is when you're starting Daquan Jeffries. That's
what I'm saying. And normally, I would laugh at you laughing at me. I'm on the Hornets. What are you guys on here?
I got nothing in this ball game.
Oh,
do we know? So crazy stuff overnight is Mark Williams' trade went backwards. He got rescinded. Is he's not playing for the Hornets?
He is not playing.
He is out still. Okay. I still think this line is overinflated. I'm with Kyle. I didn't do a deep dive in this game, but this is just too many points.
So yeah, it's up to 11 now. So clearly the sharp action's going the other way. I really don't care. I got 10.5. But I did bet it. Prop Beavers, nothing for this game. Let's move on to the next one. Whoops. Next game up, Toronto. This is the one I didn't bet. I bet the first one and the last one. I kind of was leaning Toronto, but I couldn't do it. Houston's going to get back on track eventually. Let me pull up the injury report. Pretty sure this is the one I didn't bet. No, still no Van Vliet. He was listed as doubtful. He's confirmed out. Wow, Tari Eason too?
Yeah, he's out.
He was questionable before, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, but now he's out.
So I'm glad I don't know. I guess Raptors are past. This is the one I didn't bet.
Yeah, for me, it's Raptors are past. I mean, if you look at the last 10 games, the Raptors have a better net rating than the Rockets. It's crazy to think. The Raptors have been playing some defense. I don't love tailing them when they're on the road. I'd rather them be in Toronto, but for the most part, I got to go Toronto here. I know they're going to be missing, I think, RJ Barrett again. So if anything, maybe a little Grady Dick over points. I think that was like 13.5. With those guys out, he's done pretty well. So maybe him or it's one of those things where Houston, you're waiting for them to turn it around. They've been playing bad, but they are coming off second night of a back-to-back, have some injuries. This is quite a bit of points. I kind of like the way Toronto's played a little bit, so I'd lean Toronto. But
agreed. Prop Brad, anything for this one?
Yeah, I got a player prop that I really like for this one. Amen Thompson over 18.5 points. I mean, everybody loves him. Some Amen, dude's an absolute stud. We got Podol and Olynyk gone for the Raptors. It leaves a glaring weakness defensively, both at the 5 and the rim for Toronto, with forward Jonathan Mogbo getting time in their place. And versus OKC, I was just watching some of the game last night, just looking at some of the highlights. I saw guys cutting at will, getting to the basket, and if they didn't get to the basket, most time they drew the foul. That was without a true scoring threat at center. With Sengun being able to space the floor and score effectively, I think it's an all-you-can-eat buffet for a men at the rim, with Mogbo very distracted by Sengun, opening up cuts to the basket. Toronto already has funneled shots to the interior since January 15th at one of the highest rates in the league, and without Fred VanVleet, we've seen a men hit 37-plus minutes in 6 straight games, with just 34-plus versus bottom 12 rim defenses, 7-1 this season, with 35-plus versus bottom 15 transition defenses. He's over his last 7-11. On top of that, if we look at without Fred VanVleet on the court, he's over his last 4-6 games overall. And what I want to look at is the volume here, because he's had 10-plus field goal attempts in 5 of those 6 games. With 10-plus field goal attempts over his last 12 or 16 this season, he's averaging 20 points per game. We got a Raptors team that's moving at one of the fastest paces in the league, with quickly back on the floor here. And Amen Thompson, going back to last season, he does really well in these day games for some reason. So I like Amen Thompson at the plus price. You can get him at Hard Rock for 18.5.
Last game up. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and straight up, I love this bet if Embiid doesn't play. I placed it either way. So if Embiid gets ruled in, maybe I get screwed a little bit here. I have over 227.5 is the bet I placed. And again, if Embiid doesn't play, I think this should be a very good bet. the Sixers, without a beat on the floor, have been playing faster. They're still not a fast-paced team, but they've been playing faster. But more importantly, the offense has been clicking. The Sixers just look like such a better team with Yabusele instead of Embiid, to be honest. But if Embiid doesn't play, we should see a fast-paced game here. Sixers should be able to score because they've been scoring on everybody. Milwaukee's been struggling on the defensive side of the ball. There's no Giannis, and I know. Does Giannis hurt the Bucks? Does Giannis being out hurt the Bucks offensively? Of course. I'm also a little worried that Giannis if you have Giannis in at the big, it might speed the pace of the game up because he runs the floor. But still, I mean, he also hurts the Bucks defensively, and with no Giannis out there, this is a Bucks team that hasn't been playing good defense in 2 or 3 weeks now. So if Embiid doesn't play, the Sixers are scoring on the Bucks, and Milwaukee's going to score right back because Philly hasn't been able to play defense. I mean, I guess the defense has been a little better if Embiid doesn't play, but this is still not a good defensive team. To be honest, I would price this. If I knew for a fact Embiid wasn't playing, I would have this one at like 235.5. So I think 228, or I got 227.5 is a great bet if Embiid doesn't play. And I keep saying if because he's still listed as questionable.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to have to wait to see the lineup, so I might tail that. In this one, just to go off what you said, in the last 10 games, Bucks are 24th defensive rating, Sixers are 26th. I mean, it's been bad. It's been pretty ugly. So I like the over as well, just based on what Kyle just said as well. But I also like Damian Lillard. When he's playing without Giannis, when I'm saying Damian Lillard, I mean I like his over assists. It's at 8.5 right now. You might as well just take the double-double, honestly. You're getting plus money there. But he's averaging 10.6 assists without Giannis this year. Over this in 4 of the last 5. Or 4 of those 5, averaging about 17 potential assists. So I like Dame to go over in assists here, and then like he said, over. There's not much defense being played. I've watched Milwaukee games where they just look really uninterested. I think it was recently they just gave like 150 to the Spurs or something. It was something crazy, but yeah.
Right. Me and Jabo, very similar mindset here. I like Damian Lillard over 12.5 rebounds and assists. You get that at -110 on 365. Actually, no, MGM or Hard Rock. Giannis is out, and Lillard has flown over this in 4 straight in these spots. He's averaging 17 rebounds and assists, 9 chances, 18 potentials, with just 6+ chances and 12+ potentials on marks he's hit in all 4 of his last 4 without Giannis. He's over in 14 of his last 20 games this season. He's averaging 14 rebounds and assists. He's also over his last 3 or 4 versus the 76ers without Giannis. He's had 17+ in each of those caches. And with the way the 76ers look right now, I think the Bucks have a pretty damn good shot at winning this one. With 13+ potential assists and a Bucks win, Lillard 11-1 this season, averaging 15.1. And the fact that the last 9 of 11 point guards to face the 76ers have gone over their rebounds plus assist line, with 7 of them hitting 13+ in the process. And I like the value for Lillard to start our Super Bowl Sunday off with a bang here. Yeah.
I like that.
40 minutes ago, LaMelo Ball downgraded to questionable.
That is whack.
40 minutes ago. All right. While we were live. Well, I have Hornets plus 10.5. Good God.
Yeah, I think line is 11.5 or 12 right now.
Yeah, it's well, if LaMelo's out, I don't want to be on 10.5 at all.
No.
He wasn't even, when I placed that bet last night, he wasn't even listed as questionable. He wasn't even on there. All right.
And
everyone,
Kate's
enjoy
gonna
your
play.
Super Bowl Sunday. Thanks for a great season. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Yeah, let's have ourselves a good one, guys. Talk to you later. Steve. Oh, you guys know where to find Steve. Let me clear the board so you can see his name. Just a bet outside his name of his YouTube channel. That's his Twitter name down there as well. Great season, Steve. Thanks for joining, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully, I can hop on before next football season. We can do something else.
Yeah, we'll do some off-season stuff. We'll do some